Yep.
Cool. Okay, so tell us about season 2 of 24. What can we expect? What are fans looking forward to?
Season 2, starts from where the first season ended. It ends on I'm trying to save the life of the future prime minister, his life, because there's an assassination attempt, and it ends on the note where I'm trying to reach my wife who's in the hospital. She's in coma, and it ends there and it's symbolically that it registers that it ends on a note that I'm not being able to make it. So I saved the life, the life of the prime minister, but I can't save the life of my own family, the happiness of my family. And then it begins 3 years after that, where obviously my children are grown up. I've been become an alcoholic, and somewhere out of ATU, I don't no longer head ATU. There's a new ATU chief, who's a lady who's come and taken over the organization, and I'm in a different city, and that's where the story begins of season 2. Yeah.
And what was your favourite scene to shoot for this series? What did you most enjoy doing?
I think there are a lot of scenes. There is a certain, one of my favorite scenes which is going to come in the next few episodes is obviously I can't disclose much, but there are a few episodes, like there are scenes between me and Sakshi Tanwar, who plays the ADU chief now, which is one of my favorite scenes, a very dramatic scene. And of course, there's a whole interrogation which takes place between Shabana, me, and Ronit Roy, where they interrogate me. It's quite a long interrogation scene, and it was fun doing that. Yeah.
Do you pick up any injuries doing that kind of thing, like the physical?
Injuries, yes. If I remove my trousers now, which I can't in this interview, there was a blast, and it was supposed to be, I did these, a lot of it was a wire work, and I was supposed to with the impact of the blast, I fly in the air and go and fall on the bonnet, and I fell on the bonnet, and I had protected myself with everything except for my thighs, and the corner of the bonnet has hit my. And I injured myself. It's still black and blue.
Oh,
it's been almost 15 days now.
So you were in the American show of this as well. It's American 24, season 8, I think. What are the differences between the two shows for you?
Well, we've tried to have the same kind of work culture, and the storytelling is the same. And of course, we try to have the same kind of aesthetics and in the show also. So there are a lot of similarities between both the shows, but of course, it's an adaptation. So it's more to the Indian sensibilities, but still keeping the DNA of the original intact, like the multiple tracks and the character of Jack Bauer, and of course, the storyline somewhere. We change it so that the original people who have watched 24, who are the 24 fans, when they watch the Indian version, they should not be aware what the beginning and what the middle and what the end is going to be. So it should always be on a cliffhanger. They should not know where it ends. So we try to do that. So there are a lot of new twists and turns in the adaptation also.
So what are the kind of pressures involved in adapting a show that's already kind of really well known? But
a lot of pressure, because you see, the thing is, it's a mother of all thrillers. It's an iconic show. It's been successful all over the world. So you don't want that you take it, you adapt it. You're not making an original show. You're trying to adapt it, and still, if you don't, make it a success, it's a huge responsibility, and of course, you don't want to fail. So we've done our best, and put our heart and soul in making it, and it's tough. Because the budgets are not as big as the original show. So, yeah.
Obviously, we're going through what people are kind of talking about as a golden age of TV. There's kind of Netflix, there's Amazon Prime, lots of different ways that you can watch TV. And obviously, people kind of tend to binge watch it now. If you watch TV, it's all in one kind of go. But that kind of started in a way with 24, with the cliffhangers and wanting to know what the next episode is. I mean, what's it like working on a show where people just want the next installment, they want it,
Yes, of course. We have, we basically, there are a lot of people who watch it on television. Otherwise, there is another app which is, it belongs to Viacom 18 and the Colors team, which is the Woot. And so whoever wants to do binge walking, what they don't watch it on television and they watch it 5 or 6 episodes together. So they can do that on Woot. Yeah.
And what's it been like, you know, in terms of reaction from various audiences? Because this is playing also in the UK, and it's going out to quite a few different countries.
Yes.
What do you think the appeal is, and why it's got a certain reaction that it has?
Well, you know, to be honest with you, so far it's been very encouraging, and the peers, my peers, and the critics have loved it, and the audience also is liking it. But of course, we have a long way to go. It's a gradual shift. People somewhere in India are used to certain shows and certain kind of storytelling. They sometimes find it pretty fast. Sometimes they find the multi-tracks. They're not able to follow it. So they are used to a certain kind of spoon feeding. So you know, slowly and steadily, but there is a gradual shift. We're taking baby steps, but hopefully, in the near future, there'll be many more shows like 24. Yeah.
Do you think that, obviously, you, as I said earlier, you've been in the American version of 24. Do you think Kiefer Sutherland has got a place in this 24?
I don't know why everybody asks me that. Yeah, why you want me? You want him to be there in that show? Why do you all post this question to me? I just want to know.
I think it'd be interesting.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I don't think so. That's possible, but it'll be great for him to be part of it. But I don't think so. It's possible. Yeah.
Do you think you would get on with your character in real life if you met him?
Sorry?
Would you get on with your character in real life if you met your character from 24 in real life? Do you think you would get on?
Tough
with
to
that
get
person?
along. Tough. He's a interesting and difficult person to live with. Of course, very tough because he's so much into his work, his duty, his you know, commitment towards his country, and he's very out of the box. He has his own ways of doing things, and obviously tough to get along with this kind of guy. Yeah, but ultimately, you know, he gets his job done, which is great. Yeah, which is fantastic. So ultimate result is great, but how he does it, what he goes through, that makes 24 exciting. Yeah.
So not the best kind of guy to have a drink with, just to chill out for a night.
I don't think he's going to sit down and have a drink, yeah, of course, yeah, because he doesn't have the time, because he has to do everything in 24 hours, and it's a very long day for him, it's a tough day, so he has to get on with that. So, and once he finishes the 24 hours, there's always the next problem, which he has to solve.
Talking about a 24-hour day, if we're going to look at like an average day in your life, 24-hour slot, what would that look like?
Mine is as tough as Jack Bauer, so that's the reason I can relate to the character of Jai Singh Rathore. And somewhere, even I have a lot of tough days, and I've been working like this non-stop since many, many years, and I enjoy it. I am passionate about it. That's the reason I can do this role. You know, I can identify with Jai Singh Rathore's role, and I think that's why I enjoy doing it. Yeah.
And obviously, you must travel all the time, kind of constantly for your work. Do you enjoy traveling? I mean, where are places that you really like to go?
I enjoy traveling because it breaks the monotony for me, and meeting different people. I love meeting people. I'm a people's person, so I love interacting with them, getting interviewed, speaking to you, and knowing their point of view. And you know, travel always somewhere opens you up, and you learn a lot. And of course, you know, you want to see the world. You want to meet different people, so it's fun. Yeah, of course, I love traveling. Yeah, de-stresses me.
Are there certain places that you really like to go back to or to visit, you know, more than once?
London. I love London. Yeah.
What about it?
I just love it. I just love being here. Yeah.
More generally, over the course of your career, I mean, you've been acting. I think your first film I was reading was
in 1979. I started with bit roles, and of course, I gradually, you know, upgraded myself to being the leading man, and then I was an actor, and then my films became successful, and they called me a star, and so you know, so it's been wonderful. It's been nice. It's been great. It's been a long journey, but fun, and many more films and many more 24s for the future. I'm sure I have a lot to offer still.
How have you changed as an actor over that time? I mean, has your kind of approach to acting changed?
Yeah, there is a certain shift where the way the directors and the writers see the storytelling is completely changing, and somewhere I feel they wanted much more relatable, much more real, much more natural. It's no longer the larger-than-life melodrama. They want real characters, and that's the shift. But for me, it became easier because I used to do those kind of films always. I always kept a balance of doing the fantasy, typical Indian films with song and dance and all. And I did my realistic cinema also, which was so called the art cinema. and different kind of films and different kind of directors, but I always juggled between both these films. So for me, it's a great time for me. So it couldn't be better for me. But I think I'm going through my best phase of my career. Yes.
Great. And with your family in the film industry as well, with your children, I mean, how has that changed you with them being also in the limelight?
Well, I'm reliving my career in all three of them. So it's quite. Sometimes I don't like it, but it's fun.
Any chance of them kind of learning from you? Have you given them tips about kind of how to deal with the pressure and how to go about this kind of job?
I think it just happens organically. We are both children, and we all learn from each other, and the youngsters come with a different kind of mindset. So you pick up things from them, and sometimes they pick up quite a few things automatically from their parents. It's not necessary that I have to tell them, but slowly and steadily they've been observing both parents, and they imbibe, especially the good and the bad from their parents. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And what TV shows are you really into at the moment? I mean,
my favorite show, last which I've seen is House of Cards. I've loved the storytelling of, and the way Kevin Spacey is, and all the actors involved, and it's absolutely, it's so watchable. The show House of Cards, I love it. I just love it. And there are many more shows, which obviously I don't get the time to see, but my children are seeing them, and they keep on telling me, there are some great shows. My manager loves Game of Thrones, and so I haven't seen any of the episodes of Game of Thrones. I heard it's a great show. Yeah,
it's worth watching.
Yeah,
it's a big
I'm going to watch it. Yeah.
What's next for you after this?
I'm doing 2 films now. As soon as I finish 24 hours, there's a film, a comedy I'm doing, which hopefully I'll shoot somewhere in England, or otherwise somewhere in Europe. It's a comedy, and it's about a family, and Indian family based in London, Southall. So I'm looking forward to that film. It's a lot of fun, and of course I'm doing a film which is a remake, adaptation again of a film which is nominated for the Oscars from Belgium, called Funny Khan. So I'm doing that. These 2 films I've committed to, and of course I'm producing another film called Red, which is adaptation and about the rights, and I'm doing it in collaboration with Lionsgate, which is the original Red, which was starring Bruce Willis and Morgan Freeman. That's a film I'm doing in Hindi. Yeah.
Brilliant. Sounds great. Well, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Oh, that's great.